Hello everybody, I'm going to read an article from Official Xbox magazine that really caught my eye. It's 23 of people's pet peeves about ignorance about games that you can outfix. And it actually says, the last paragraph before the list is, but you don't have to stand for their judgmental cluelessness. Here's a big honking list of wrongs that you have the power to set right. They don't know, but you can show them. In fact, read it aloud to them, through a bullhorn, an inch from their face. And so I thought I'd read it, not through a bullhorn, but through the internet, and not with it in their face, but from as far away as I am from the webcam. So here goes. Number one, you can't have it both ways. Parents, politicians, and pundits are constantly scolding kids for spending too much time with video games. At the same time, however, they casually mock anyone who dares play them as a child. Which age group is being irresponsible again? Make up your minds. Number two, look who's talking. If you spend most days building kin orphanages and serving hot soup to homeless unicorns, then yes, you can tell us that gaming is a waste of time. If you sit on TV or browsing celebrity gossip blogs, then please look up hypocrite in the dictionary. Number three, control yourself. That gamepad is not a rock, and you are not a rampaging chimpanzee. Smashing the buttons with all your ferocious might is not going to make your character any faster, stronger, or smarter. It will probably break our $50 piece of equipment, however, so knock it the fuck off. They didn't write that, I put that in. Yes, this stuff is expensive. If we ask you to take a step back from the HD TV, to wash your greasy, Cheeto-caked mitts, or to grab the guest controller, we have every right. These are delicate tools. Don't get all offended and don't look at us like we're anal retentive freaks. Number 5. It's your fault. Not the games, not the controllers, not the connections, not the lightings. Yours. Quit quoting us out of context. No matter how many times you repeat the line for the amusement of our friends and family, "Can you help me level my paladin tonight?" still made the perfect sense within the framework and rules of the game. Halo 3 for the Sony Wii does not exist, or number 7. It will never exist. When we patiently try to explain this to you, please don't blame us for your mixed information. Gamers have not organized themselves into a secret worldwide conspiracy merely to keep the best titles away from you. Maybe you're just wrong. I haven't come across anybody like that, but I can see where people would get pissed off. If you don't, shush. Number 8. If you don't like people talking during movies, walking in front of the television screen, or singing over your favorite songs, then, for the love of all that's holy, or a flying spaghetti monster in my case, don't interrupt us during a game's cutscene. The alien, the dragon, or the talking spellbook were having a very important conversation. Hey, are you winning? Number 9. This is an RPG with hundreds of quests and paths over dozens of hours, so it's really hard to say. Cool, how many points you got? That's when you face palm. And by face palm, I mean punch them in the fucking face with your palm. Number 10. If you suck, admit you suck. Give up the guitar, stay away from the drums, let someone else join the race or fight. You had your chance, and you had your fun. No one to walk away with at least a shred of dignity and goodwill intact. Number 11. Dur, 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 dur. Oh yeah, bumping into us in the middle of a competitive match is hilarious. Reaching over and messing with our controller is completely hysterical. Dying or crashing out on purpose is the funnest thing ever. That's when, again, you face palm them, and by face palm, I mean punching them in the face with your palm. Number 12. Timeout. Oops, your clumsy fingers have done it again. They've accidentally paused the game or hit the guide button at the very moment you're about to lose. How convenient. I've been guilty of that a couple times, and I really haven't come across anybody who's actually done that, though. Number 13. Please don't patronize. Don't ask us what we're playing and what's going on in the game unless you really want to know. Complete obliviousness would be preferable to barely veiled expressions of absolute and utter disinterest. I've come across people that are like, hey, what are you playing? I try to tell them something and they're fucking not paying attention. Number 14. No, this isn't that Mario game. Every game has ever made is not called Mario. Ditto for Pac-Man, Tetris, Doom, Myst, and Pong. We have not been playing the same thing for 25 years, except for when we're actually playing Pac-Man, Tetris, or Doom. Similarly, Gears of War is not Halo with new guns, and Soul Calibur is not Street Fighter with different graphics. Number 15. Names have power. No, his name isn't Zelda. I'm admit I had that preconceived notion because I'm an idiot, but now that I know it's Link, and it's just hard when you hear Legend of Zelda. Your brain automatically does that. It's Link. Marcus Venus isn't called Gears. Gears of War, yes, of the New Hampshire Gears, or yes, of the New Hampshire Wars. And the soldier guy isn't named Wolfenstein. That's pretty clear. Sometimes video games, like books, films, and television, are complex enough to contain characters with names separate from the title. Hard to believe, but true. 16. Scared stupid. If you're going to scream and run away each time an enemy fires a gun, swings a punch, or makes the slightest noise, perhaps you should sample a hobby other than video games. We hear quilting is quite rewarding. Yeah, I haven't come across anybody like that. 17. Well, that's a great thing to teach children. How observant of you. Yes, these severed limbs, crushed skulls, and buckets of exploding blood are quite gory. Good thing the game is rated mature and not made for minors, right? Made my point about that in other videos. Do the research. Yes, games are full of foul language, awful violence, crude sexuality, and other mature situations. Protest all you like, but at least protest the right offenders for the right reasons. If Fox News has sent a single email or made one phone call to BioWare, they would have been informed that Mass Effect was not a sex simulator. Why is ignorance so acceptable on this one particular subject? 19. Save. For heaven's sake, please ask us questions if you don't know what you're doing, because constantly watching you start your vivid pinata garden from scratch yet again is killing us inside. And yes, we know you just want to run around and punch people in GTA, but maybe if you saved, you could eventually run around and punch people on a totally new island. Oh, and while we're on this subject, I've done that before where I've just started playing a game and haven't saved and stuff like that. That's happened in first-person shooters where I've gone far and then I haven't saved and just pain in the ass. Hold the F on, number 20. Whatever you want from us, we can't do anything until we save. No, really. No, nothing. You want to lose the last 45 minutes of your life too? Then deal with it. 21. Learn the language of gaming. A grace period for learning is understandable, of course. We're all beginners at the beginning, right? But if you can't muster enough patience to sit through a 5-minute tutorial, don't wince when you forget the controls. Don't complain when you end up having a conversation with a clearly non-interactive crate instead of the glowing, obviously interactive computer right next to you. Right next to it. And exactly how many times do we have to remind you which screen is yours in a multiplayer match before you memorize that simple binary piece of information? This isn't calculus. I've done that before. I've screen looked before. But for me, it's just a reflex thing where I'm used to having the whole screen to myself. I'm not used to splitting it up, and it's really hard for me to focus on one screen. Games that aren't that immersive. If you could refrain from physically ducking, dodging, bobbing, and weaving every single time a bullet is fired or a vehicle drives past the screen, you might look a lot less like you hear voices, and therefore we might be willing to sit next to you again. Rest assured that when the holodeck is finally invented, you can flip and flounce around as much as your heart desires. And number 23, finally, don't be an enabler. By purchasing Licensed Drek and the crappy sequels to Licensed Drek, simply because you recognize the celebrity on the front of the box, or it's $20 in the bargain bin, you're pulling down the entire industry. Enter the Matrix sells millions, while Comey sells thousands. Space Chimps, and Are You Smarter Than the Fifth Grader? Gets multi-platform releases while Psychonauts is denied a sequel. We all suffer because of someone's bad or poorly informed taste. Buy good games or don't buy games at all, please. So that's the 23 pet peeves of people like me who have pet peeves, who hate it when people outside of gaming or don't play games say that things, okay? So don't do those 23 things and you'll be safe if you're not a gamer. Peace, love, harmony, and I'm off like a prom dress, motherfuckers.